I'm talking about him. This guy hasn't shut up since the day I got into the sport. The reason I'm actually, listen, and Eddie said, is there a bigger pussy than Eddie Hearn?
He was quite upset.
Is there a bigger pussy than Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, slight naivety.
The bond between Benn and Hearn was seen as unbreakable, a partnership forged in the fires of controversy and legal hurdles. But as the saying goes, everyone has a price, and it seems Benn's was exactly high enough to make him ghost the man who saved his career.
I didn't realise how much of a massive week it's been in boxing for quite a while. There's so many fractions happening in and out of the ring. So I'm trying to figure out which side it's best to be on the outside looking in or the inside looking out. I don't know, but it's intriguing.
Observers are now noting that this war has claimed its biggest casualty yet. By walking away from Matchroom, Benn isn't just switching offices. He's essentially declaring that the boxing trends of old, where loyalty meant something, are dead and buried. Former cruiserweight king Johnny Nelson didn't hold back, issuing a brutal assessment of Benn's decision-making process, or lack thereof. While some fans are praising Benn for securing the bag, Nelson sees a dangerous precedent being set. He argues that while the money is staggering, the lack of a long-term safety net could be Benn's undoing.
You look at this thing with Conor Benn, and I understand why he did it, and I hope people are not now throwing shade on him for doing it. It's just how he's gone about doing it. And the thing is, nobody's actually spoken to Conor Benn about this side of it. I saw your interview that you got with Conor. It was an exclusive, wicked interview, and I actually thought, I see where you're coming from. The contractual information, that side of it, and how the conversation has gone. And Eddie gave the impression as though I sent him a text, he didn't reply to me. It's just, I found out. I gather Eddie was aware of what was going on, and what kind of money was on the table. He just couldn't match it. So it's not as black and white as what people think. The devil's in the detail. So what Conor's done, good on him. He's put himself in a position where he's at 15 million. Now, if he's at that level of a fighter to say I can command 15 million, good on him, and he'll stay up there. If he's not that level of a fighter where he can command 15 million for one fight, then you know what? On the world stage, he's thinking, I've gone up, but snatch that. Thank you very much, I'm down. He'll never earn it again. So the reason why he got that big shout, the big money was with Chris Eubank, because there's always been that rivalry there. Would he be able to pull that sort of money anywhere else with anybody else? Unless it's at world level, no. So I totally understand him doing it. I totally get it, and I honestly don't think anybody would turn it down or resent it. I just think the way he's gone about it. But as I said, the devil's in the detail.
There's more money on the table. The old Bunsen burner makes the world go round, doesn't it? And that's what he's doing. He's going for the money. He doesn't seem to be that interested in world titles, Conor Benn. He's more interested in the money. And Eddie Hearn said that recently. And that's fair enough. Business is business. But on reflection, and now watching Eddie's recent interview, and some of the stuff he said, in reflection, I am thinking to myself, maybe Conor could have just picked the phone up. Maybe he could have just had that chat, because I didn't realise that them two were so close. Looking at Eddie Hearn and his facial expressions and the way he's talking, I don't want to say he's like a pissed off ex-girlfriend, because that's a bit disrespectful. It's got elements of that, but you can see that Eddie was genuinely on Conor Benn's side. He really had him as his guy. He was looking after him. He had his back through the whole 2 drugs testing episodes. Don't forget, he failed 2 drugs tests for, I think it was clomiphene. I don't know if it was both for clomiphene, but he failed 2 drugs tests, and the whole country turned on him. The first fight was supposed to happen with Chris Eubank Jr. That got stopped the day before the weigh-in or the day before the fight. It got cancelled, and the fight never happened. And Eddie stuck by his side, fighted his corner. He said he's took bullets on the hill for him, which he probably had. He actually risked the reputation of Matchroom Sport, which is a hundreds of £1 million organisation. So to do that and look after him, you would have thought they've probably had dinner together, haven't they? They've been out, and they know each other's family. They're closer than just business. So, like I've said, I think Conor Benn could now actually pick the phone up and say, Eddie, do you want to meet up for a coffee, mate? Can we just get our heads together? And Conor's actually said he still likes Eddie, or he still wants to work with Matchroom in some capacity, and they can still do stuff together. So I don't see why that call can't happen. But Eddie now has fired a few bullets himself and give Conor Benn a bit of stick. He's pissed off. He's not writing him off. He's not doing anything publicly to say that he's done anything that's sort of majorly wrong. He's not throwing him under a bus or anything. But you can see that Eddie Hearn is really, really sort of bitterly disappointed with the way that Conor Benn has handled this whole situation. And I can kind of empathise with Eddie Hearn, because now listening to him, I do think that the conversation should have gone down.
Nelson's idiot label stems from the long-term risk. By taking the immediate $15 million chess move, Benn may have burned the bridge to the only promoter who would fight tooth and nail for him during his darkest hours. Remember, when the world was ready to unalive Benn's reputation over failed tests, Eddie Hearn was the only one standing at the podium. To Nelson, throwing that away for a one-off payday is short-sighted at best and career-ending at worst.
He's responded to the pussy claim by saying he kind of takes it as a compliment because you're talking about him. Explain why you think he's a massive pussy.
I'm talking about him. This guy hasn't shut up since the day I got into this sport. It's crazy. Eddie and I had a relationship, and I literally didn't see that coming. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to mess with Eddie at all. I liked him, and I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. I'm talking about him. This guy hasn't shut up since the day I got into the sport. The reason I'm actually, listen, and Eddie said, oh, this is great. I look forward to competing with him. And there's a lot of things he doesn't know about boxing that he's going to learn the hard way. And Eddie, I've been in this business for 30 years. And, the whole Conor Benn thing, apparently they're supposed to be really close, and Eddie's supposed to be hurt by this and all this stuff. Eddie Hearn and his father are incredibly wealthy and will be for the rest of their lives. Conor, who they care about, is going to make some good money for him and his family. He should be happy for him if they're that friendly and that close, or he should have matched the deal, which he could have done. He obviously has the money, and he could have matched or beat it.
Rumors of an 8-figure deal to fight Regis Prograis on Netflix have surfaced, but experts suggest the money isn't actually for the fight itself. In a landscape now dominated by the deep pockets of the Middle East and Zuffa, the actual sport of boxing is becoming secondary to the business of disruption.
He didn't get £50 million for fighting Prograis. He's got £50 million to move, because that's not a £15 million fight or $15 million fight. This was a chess move. This was a chess move to help try and destabilize the opposition. And so that's not worth a $15 million fight. This is a business move, a completely opposite from it. So you can pick who you want. There you go. I'll have him. He's familiar with him, but he's not too much of a danger. We all know that's not a £15 million fight. This is a business move. Why is it a business move? Then you've got to dig into the business behind it. So Turkey Al-Sheikh and Dana White, they've got to do their thing. They've got to bolster up a new dawn. So everybody's getting it. Frank's getting it. Eddie's getting it.
This is the uncomfortable truth. Benn is being used as a pawn by overpaying him for a fight that, on paper, isn't worth a fraction of that. The new power players are effectively buying the talent away from established UK promoters. It's a move designed to destabilize Matchroom and show every other fighter in the stable that their loyalty is the only thing standing between them and a life-changing wire transfer.
I mean, obviously it's going to make a lot of noise around the world, but as we discussed previously, we've been talking about this talent agency, and
Eddie Hearn has been vocal about the personal hurt this breakup caused, revealing he even loaned Benn hundreds of thousands of pounds for legal fees during his suspension. Hearn didn't just promote Benn, he bankrolled his survival. Now, former champions like Junior Witter are weighing in on the morality of the move.
Quite simply, yeah. Of course he should have. If someone's helped you when you've got nothing and you're scraping the barrel, what he says he was, yeah, and lent you the money to make sure to live the life you want to live, yeah, and you go and say, yeah, you helped me out then and did everything for me, but you know what? I'm going to go over there and goes sort out with them. It's terrible. Now, Eddie says, I've heard Eddie say, it's his fault because they didn't nail him down to the contract when he should. And being the world's of boxing and the way they've brought fighters through and thrown money at him like that, yeah, he probably should have done. But like he says, they didn't expect it from someone who he's had from day one and made a superstar, because he's never done anything to deserve the level of credit he's got.
In a sport where contracts are often written in stone, Hearn's mistake was relying on a handshake and a father-son bond that Benn seemingly outgrew the moment the zeros got bigger. Witter's perspective highlights a growing divide in the gym. The old-school fighters who value the forged-in-blood respect, and the new generation who view promoters as nothing more than temporary banks.
It's quite interesting because obviously you've got a belt that he's obviously been chasing for a long time. He's just got a high ranking with the WBC, but he made the shock move to Zuffa Boxing, and they don't really recognize the other belts. But obviously you had the Eddie Hearn relationship. So tell me, when you saw that get announced, what went through your head?
Shock. Like everyone else, it was shock, and it was also shows his character. Money mad, and that's all it were about, because he's gone to an organisation that are doing their own thing, which is completely independent of everything else. It's like, I'm over here and I'm going to be a star over here, and it doesn't matter that I'm not going to fight anybody decent ever, because he hasn't fought anybody decent. The only thing he really done in all his career so far is beat a jaded fighter who wasn't at his peak, who was never an elite fighter. As good as Chris you want, he was never elite. Yeah, his weight drained, he's come down, he's beat you up, you've done it again straight after, and you hadn't recovered from the first one, and you've managed to get the win, and he was terrible that night. But that don't prove anything, because it wasn't like he was an active fighter who was on it, or nowhere near in his prime. So you beat a jaded old fighter and you got a lot of credit for it, you've made a lot of money for it, and that's all you seem to be bothered about.
Observers are now pointing to a perceived lack of professional maturity in how Benn handled the exit, specifically his refusal to answer Hearn's texts. Ghosting your promoter is one thing, but ghosting the man who sat through every deposition and legal hurdle with you is a different level of cold.
How he's done it must be very hard for him, because I'm quite sure he likes Eddie and he likes Barry, but he's had to make a decision, which is a tough decision. Eddie saying he didn't reply to me, I get that, because you know what? One, Conor said, look, I didn't want to pick the phone up and start saying things, I'd regret. At the heat in the moment. I get it. It's just the way he'd gone about it. So would I have done it? I'd have done it. But I've done it with Brendan, like he did unto me. I said, Brendan, look, I'm getting 15 million. My man said, I'm only gonna get it if I'm not with you. And it's for one fight. So here you are, there's your cut, the 15 mil. I'll take the one fight and then we're cool. I'm back again. So this is between you. It's not about what the public say, whatever. And Brendan be cool there. And to me, everybody, you're sharing the love, you're sharing the dough. That's how I'd have done it. And it shows an appreciation for the help and support that Eddie had given him up to that point. And I get it. So it's just about how he's gone about it. And I know he's 29 years old. And people are saying, well, he should have been mature enough to have the conversation with Eddie. Listen, Eddie's a smooth talker. And there must have been some guilt involved. So he's thinking, I don't want to change my mind on this because this is life-changing. And we'll get over it. The heat's on at the moment. Let's just cool it down a little bit. But I'm curious to see what Conor says when this is, and his explanation of it. And I'm quite sure there's a lot more to it than what we've been told. You can't resent Conor for dealing with it. It's just how it's dealt with. And I think, again, it comes with maturity of being able to have that uncomfortable conversation. And I think that's where Conor lacked in maturity in dealing with that side of it.
Nelson suggests that the guilt of leaving Hearn was so high that Benn couldn't even look him in the eye or the text bubble. While Benn chases the currency, former champions are questioning whether he ever intended to prove he was the best in the world. Benn has never won a British title or a major world championship. He has lived off his father's name and high retention marketing, but as Junior Witter points out, belts have a value that money can't touch.
I would have rather be the world champion for being the best. It was about being the best boxer. That's what I wanted, to be the number one. And I was the number one, like ring number one as well. The best of all champions with the best belt. That's what I wanted to achieve, and that's what I achieved. And without a shadow of a doubt, I'd have loved a lot more money. And I deserved a lot more money. But it didn't happen. And there's many reasons for that. And the main one just being knowledge. The main one was I didn't have enough knowledge coming through. But I got there, I got in the ring, did the job, won the belts, enjoyed that reign, and no one can ever take that away from me. And if someone says, well, you can box him and you'd have earned 30 million, I'll give it, yeah, but money doesn't make you happy. Yeah? How many people do we know that have made millions and got millions and depressed and they're suicidal? Some of them tried. Yeah, I mean, some of them actually tried. Fighters we know. And it's just being happy with who you are and what you achieved is the biggest thing. And if I didn't achieve them, I want the best. So for me, that's what I prefer. I definitely prefer being the champion, knowing I was the best at my division at my time.
The brutal reality is that if Benn retires now as a rich prospect rather than a proven champion, his legacy may be as empty as the seats at an unsanctioned event. He is choosing the silk sheets over the blood and sweat of a legacy-defining run through the WBC rankings.
If back then you was given the opportunity to have an offer, say the number he's been reported is 15 million to have one fight or two fights, whatever it is, but 15 million, which basically means you never would have to open up a gym. You could just sit somewhere on a beach somewhere, and right now you could be sat, I don't know, in Dubai somewhere, living there. If that was kind of put out to you back then, but you had to make that decision, what would you have done then?
It's a very different position. Ben realistically was born with that, and he has that because he's got that. He was born with it, it came with him, and he's got plenty of money. It's not like he hasn't been well paid, yeah? And for me, it was always about being the best and proving I was the best. So money was important, but not that important, yeah? And with Ben, a few other fighters I could mention, money's the most important thing. So they've gone for the money, which most people give, oh, I understand that. And I went, yeah, I do. But at the same time, when you're born with a silver spoon, like he said he was, silk sheets and the rest of it, you've already got the money. So you've got all that. That isn't something that you need. It's not an elevation of your life. It's just, well, I'm going to be exactly the same. I'm going to have more money in the bank. So what? So for me, as a fighter, if you want to prove who you are and prove all the doubt was wrong, you stay and you go win WBC, because that's the belt that everybody wants and recognizes.
The fallout from the Benn deal is just the beginning of a larger shift involving His Excellency Turki Alalshik and Dana White. The infrastructure of boxing is being dismantled and rebuilt in real time. Promoters like Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are being relegated to secondary roles as the big money takes total control of the schedule. Benn is simply the first major domino to fall in a plan that seeks to consolidate all of boxing under one banner, regardless of who gets hurt in the process.
And you know what? I met Turkey last year in a hotel in Knightsbridge, and he was talking about all the things that are happening now and his intention in regards to what he's going to do with boxing. And I thought, wow, this man's a dreamer, man. How are you going to do that? in regards to Eddie, in regards to Frank, the position of where they'll be. This time, these boys are balls deep into him, and he said, you know, these guys will be gone. You know, that's his vision. He wants it to be one belt. He wants it to be one existence, as in the Ring magazine. That's his vision. Now, the money is offering fighters to make it too hard for him to say no to. Any fighter, if he's going to them and saying, I've got this for you, they might do it what I've said, and listen, share the love, but they're going to struggle to walk away from it. 90% of fighters are going to struggle to walk away from it. So I get it. So now, and don't be fooled. What's happening with Turkey and Dana is going to, the same thing that's happened with Frank and Eddie is going to happen with Turkey and Dana. The same thing's going to happen. Turkey doesn't want 2 belts. He wants 1 belt. And so therefore, he's going to see the lie of the land, see how it operates, see the strengths, see the weaknesses, and then he'll do exactly what he did here in the UK with Dana. And they'll be a fallout. And then you never know. Dana and Eddie could join forces because they think, we've got to deal with this man, he's too hard to deal with. So Turkey has a vision, and he's going to execute it in however unorthodox it is. And regardless of what you think of what I've just said, watch this space, and because it will happen. And I'm quite sure Dana's no fool, so Dana's got a plan B in regards to that. But right now, it suits them two working together.
Is Conor Benn a genius for securing a $15 million payday? Or is he an idiot for burning the bridge with the only man who stood by him? So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next video.